So today we are really excited because we have a really special guest, and we're very excited to announce who she is. She's looking at us. She's looking gorge and blue. And first off, like, we're just obsessed with you. We fell in love with you on the show, Twentysomethings Austin. And yeah, which was like such a crazy show. It's on Netflix. If you guys haven't seen it, you definitely should. It's about 20-somethings in Austin. It's in the title. They talk about love, life, all of that. And now 20-somethings was a success. And now you have your podcast, Hopeful and Horny, with your co-host from the show, Kiki, who we love as well. And yeah, so Natalie Cabo, everybody.
Thank you, Carol and Avery, for having me. I'm so excited. You girls, like, I just met you, but you just look so fun. I'm really excited. So
Yeah, we're I don't know if you ever like did you get a chance to like look at anything that we've done, because
I I've seen honestly, but like I love the vibe. It's like if I had a podcast with one of my best friends, I feel like it'd be just like that. Because Kiki and I, we have a different vibe, but you guys have like there's a lot of humor and stuff like that, which is always nice.
yeah.
So
I think your guys' podcast is hilarious.
You know, I crack up all the time listening to your podcast.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
what I love about Kiki is that we always push each other to be so real.
Yeah.
Which, because sometimes, and like when you're trying to be funny, like you don't have to be as real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with us, we're like, we're gonna do both. That's why it's Hopeful and Horny. So I love it. It's like a mix of everything. So
I love it. It's super real, and yeah, you'll find we were literally joking because like in the last podcast I was like, I'm more honest here than I am in therapy. So
what? I love that. Wait, that is actually so true. I love that.
But yeah, so guys, we're gonna hop into it, and we're gonna start off with what we usually do, which is our demon trash moments. You like that?
Oh, wow. You guys are singers. Love that.
Shook. All right, I'll start off with my demon trash moment. You guys know I discovered like this really toxic trait about myself recently. Oh, it's bad. I think I went through like a little depressy episode for some reason, and I was watching a lot of kind of like sad love shit. Like marriage, what is it called? Marriage story? Scenes from a marriage. That's what it is. Stuff like that. And I realized, I was like, okay, so Natalie, you don't know this about me, but I have been in a relationship for next month will be 9 years.
Wow.
So like all of my
God.
20s. Because I turn 29 next month as well.
Okay.
What? Don't laugh, bitch.
Sorry. I just turned 27 and I'm just like, bleh.
Oh my God, I feel that.
Wait, Natalie, how old are you?
I'm 26, but like same.
Yeah. So anyway, I realized this like really toxic trait about myself that I'm like, okay, and I love my boyfriend. Like, we're super in love. Like, he's my guy. All right. I found him just really early. And I was like, I'm always trying to like figure out ways to like be a better person. And I was like, you know what would probably kick my ass into shape? Heartbreak. Like a fucking heartbreak.
Oh my God. I'm dying right now. Wait, but why is that actually so real? I feel like heartbreak really, it changes you. Like truly.
Truly. Like, especially with girls, it's like, they get in they're breaking up, and then you get to eat a bunch of food and be sad, and like everybody around you is super lovely to you. And then what ends up happening is you just kind of have this like revelation, and then what happens? Revenge body.
You have a metamorphosis.
Like,
wait, yes.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah. I shouldn't be having these thoughts because, I mean, again, I love my boyfriend. Raven, if you're listening, I love you. You're not going anywhere. But damn, dude, sometimes I was like, man, heartbreak could probably really kick my ass into shape. It probably could do wonders for me.
Maybe. You don't think we've had enough like crises by now that, a heartbreak crisis would be, like, I feel like we've had a lot of crises in the past 2 years and we still haven't changed that much. We've changed a little bit. But
I have had my quarter life well, I've had a couple quarter life crises, but yeah, you're right. I don't know. Heartbreak could really do it,
Mm.
but I don't want it to.
I
But
don't think you should test that one.
I don't want to
out.
test that one. I decided
Yeah,
not to. Yeah, but that's my demon trash moment. But am I wrong? Like, I don't think I'm wrong in thinking that.
No, I feel like there's such a thing, like the pain like drives you to be better. I feel that,
Yeah, it
you
was like,
know?
why can't I just do that? Why do I need?
No.
Why do I feel like I need that? You know,
Mm, mm.
toxic, not good.
It is toxic, but I guess I'm toxic too because like I relate, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I not working out and like getting my summer body ready? I'm like, because I'm comfortable and happy, like fuck
Yeah.
it, you know?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I'm way too comfortable.
yeah.
So yeah, that's my demon trash moment. Anyway, toxic.
Okay. So my demon trash moment is we we donate plasma to make a little more money because we're broke and we're 20s. So
We give our life force.
we give our blood, sweat, and tears for our art and show. So literally. So I was waiting in line at the plasma donation center, and it was after we had got done filming, and I was just standing in line like normal. You know, everyone just stands in line. And then this guy, he comes up to me, and this is like a 40-year-old guy who was like also in line. Not my type at all. He's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, are you single?" And I was like, like I froze in the moment because like, you know, whenever someone asks you when you're single, you're like, and you are single, but it's not someone you're attracted to, you're like, what do I say? Lie, lie, lie. But
Yeah.
I was too stunned to speak, so I just told the truth. I was like, yeah, I'm single. And he's like, all right, wait for me after this. I want to talk to you and ask you something. And I was like, no,
And he
What
wasn't a
the-
daddy?
no. We're in the plasma donation
Yeah, you're
line.
right. It's probably not the best specimen of human.
But like,
Yeah.
even though I'm also in line. But so like I'm like
Fact remains.
so we were in line to like get hooked up. So like the whole time I'm like, oh my God, please, I hope he doesn't sit next to me. Because we'd be sitting next to each other for like an hour.
Oh my-
Like that would
oh,
be so
shit.
awful.
No.
But so he like was sat like across from me, like a little bit away, and I was like, avoid eye contact at all costs. But then at the same time, in the back of my mind, I was like, is he gonna ask me out? Like he's kind of older than me. Like,
Mm.
so I'm like, maybe he could be a sugar daddy. Maybe I
If
was like,
he's-
maybe I could make some sort of arrangement because the past few weeks before that, I was like, maybe I should try and find a sugar daddy or something.
Yeah.
Like in the back of my mind, I was like, is this the universe sending me a sign? But I was like, no.
Right.
So once I got hooked up, I was like, I'm not waiting. And like, he wasn't done yet. So I just booked it out of there. And I was like, I'm not going to wait around
Nice.
and find out.
This dude definitely sounds like he would have been a splendid daddy.
A splendid daddy.
Yeah, he wanted to be your daddy for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
And I was like, I can't do this. Oh my God.
Oh my God, recently, literally like yesterday, a woman asked me if she could be my sugar mama. And I'm like, I was low key considering it just to see what happens.
Yeah, entertaining it. I feel that.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
ever wanted that?
Honestly, like, yes, I just don't know like what it takes, and I'm just nervous because I'm like, it's an unknown field for me.
Yeah, we actually spoke to, we had a podcast, it's called Venmo Me Daddy. If you guys, listeners, you guys should check it out. We actually talked to anonymously a sugar baby and a sex worker. And she spilled the tea on it, and it's pretty rough out there, actually.
Wow.
But-
I haven't listened to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also the thing about like when she talked about the thing about sugar babies, it sounds like you're more of there to be like emotional support, like also like sexual, but like a lot of emotional support. And I'm just like, I don't think that's like therapy. Like, just go get a therapist.
That's like a full-time job. Yeah.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want to like deal with men's emotional issues.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you couldn't pay me enough.
So true.
So Natalie,
Super
now
true.
that you know how we are trash, just seeped trash, how about you? What's your trash?
Oh my God, I have so much trash. So okay, so this is the thing with me is like I am someone that it's not that I get obsessed, but I get very attached to people easily. Like if I like someone or have a crush, I have this whole idea of who they are, and then I become very like zoned in, fully zoned in. So my trash this week is that I had a crush. We met and it went really well, but he definitely was like putting steps back because I was so forward and so like strong about it. And so I understood his boundaries and I backed off. But my trash is that I look to see if he looks at my story all the time. Like literally obsessively, like hour by hour. Did he watch it? Did he see it? And I'm just like, this is so not okay. So yeah, I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to just be like, whatever. If he watches it, he watches it. If he doesn't, whatever.
Is this film festival guy?
Oh my God. Sorry, I'm so embarrassed. But I'm gonna do the podcast where I update everyone. But yeah.
Yay, we got a sneak peek because I was gonna ask you about it anyways because I was like dying to know.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta know how it worked out, what happened.
Girls, like I have so much to work on and learn. Like I am not ready to be like normal, like in relationships. I'm like, I just get so caught up and I'm like, I want it so bad. Like when I want something, I'm like, that's it. I want it. Like no questions.
I am the
so
same
it's like
way
so
when
hard.
it comes to guys. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like too much. Probably why I ended up in a 9-year relationship.
Well, I'm like you. I've never been in a relationship before, so.
Oh my God, yeah.
I can't imagine.
Do you want one?
Do
you want one?
I do.
I love this
She doesn't think I do, but I do. But it's just like I don't put myself out there, you know.
Got you.
And I like.
No, it's hard.
Yeah, no, and that's why like I really admired you on the show. So I was like, Natalie, she's a trooper. She's a real one.
Yeah, should we get into it?
Yeah.
We should get into it then. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hey Trashlings, we just wanted to remind you to follow us on all of our social medias. We don't want all you little Trashlings missing out on any of our content. You can find us on Instagram at Demon Trash Podcast, on TikTok at Demon Trashcast, and on YouTube. Just look up Demon Trash. And just a reminder, we have 2 channels. We have our podcast channel where you can watch this podcast.
For our visual listeners, watchers. Same thing.
But if you want to hang out with us some more, we have our second YouTube channel where we watch like our favorite movies and TV shows. And if you want to hang out with us, come join us over there.
Yeah.
But you can find all of this info at demontrash.com, and it has all of our links there.
And don't forget to rate and review us on whatever podcasting platform you use. It really helps shows like ours out. Got Demon Trash friends. Very likely if you're listening to us, so tell them about us. And if you like what we do here and want to help us, give us your pennies so we can keep the lights on, you can do so for as little as 99 cents a month over at anchor.fm/demontrash. Again, that's anchor.fm/demontrash.
Yeah, and also if you have any Demon Trash moments, topic ideas, or weird, funny videos / TikToks you'd like us to react to, please send them over to us at our email at demontrashpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, again, that's demontrashpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, so we want to hear from you guys, and who knows, maybe what you send over will end up on the next show. So thanks, Trashlings. Back to the show. Well, we'll come back to the dating thing, but I think like talking about the show, Twentysomethings. I think I loved it, and it really the whole show got summed up for me. I feel like in when the question was asked, do I need to get therapy or do I need to go to do ayahuasca in Peru? Valid questions, and I'm so glad that we have you here to help us figure it out. Because
oh my God.
I ask myself that all the time. Now I'm in therapy, but I'm still considering the ayahuasca.
I'm fucking dead. I'm dead. I just like, how did that not go viral? Because that is the most quotable line of the entire series. Like, in my opinion, it was my favorite.
That is the most 20-somethings line I've ever heard.
Like, if you...
Iconic.
I was like,
Iconic.
I relate to that so much. And if you don't, you're probably not demon trash.
You're
like
right.
the demon trash know what that means. It's
Yeah.
like,
I'm gonna be real. I had to Google what it was. I was like, what? Peru? I'm like, huh? And I'm like Googling. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Do I need to get out of my mind? See, I'm considering heartbreak, but I should probably be just considering ayahuasca or something at this point.
Right.
But yeah, like, no, I love the show because it just felt like a very, like, honest perspective on life in your 20s, because, like, I feel like a lot of shows that, you know, have a cast of people in their 20s, it's mostly about, like, hookup culture, sex, and dating, and things like that, and there's just always, like, a lot of fucking, like, needless drama.
Right.
I felt like this was, like, a real look of what it's like in your 20s, like, having roommates and doing fun experiences and trying to figure out who you are and, like, getting your career started. And I also love the diversity of the show. Like, you know, like, even having people with, like, different levels of dating experience, like,
yeah, that was huge for me because, like, whenever, like, I think of, like, reality TV shows, it's always, like, they're always set in, like, LA or New York, and it's these beautiful, single people who have, like, you know, all their shit together. So it was, like, really refreshing seeing that on a show, like, the complete opposite on a show where it's, like, we have virgins, we have people who have never dated anyone before, people who've just started coming out of their shell in their late 20s too. Like, I love that they cast it in a later 20s, like 25, because if it was like 21 and 22-year-olds, I'd be like, yeah, I don't care.
Children.
You know, when you're
Right,
22,
yeah.
you don't have no idea what's going on.
For real. For real. And I just love that the show really showcased, like, we are all 20-year-olds trying to figure it the fuck out. Doesn't matter what you look like, what you do, you know, how many followers you have. Like, we all are messes and we're just trying to figure it out. Did you feel like that on the show? Like, did you definitely feel, like, safe in that vulnerability? Did you feel that way?
Right. That's such a good sum up of the show. Like everything you all said is just like so on point. I think yes, because on purpose, casting wanted to find people that, you know, were, you know, good people with like good hearts and that would mesh together as friends. Like friendship was the theme of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say there was a lot of like behind the scenes drama and all of that, but we definitely geared toward away from that and like focus more on like the real life shit, not just like let's throw plates, you know what I mean? Like it's very much like let's see how like the friendship dynamic works and relationships and all that. But I did feel safe to be myself because again, because of the diversity, like Kiki was a huge factor in me feeling safe, like just him being so authentic and having limited experience like me. Michael too was just like, you know, an average guy who was here trying to make his dream happen. And so I'm just really thankful that it wasn't like, because when I first saw Roxy come out of the car, I was like, I am fucked. Like, I'm like, I am legitimately fucked. These people are going to be fucking models. Like, I was like, fuck. And it was just so good to see that like you said, every type of person was there. And you didn't have to be the hottest. You didn't have to be the coolest. You just had to be yourself. And that's why you got on the show. So I was really thankful for that.
That's awesome. Yeah, no,
it could definitely, I'm sure it was definitely like harder, like behind the scenes. Like it's hard living with other people. So with like, what is it? 4 other like completely strangers. Well, 3 other complete strangers in a house. Like I'm sure like there was some behind the scenes like drama. Like even if it's just like keep the freaking sink clean. Like, you know.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was a huge drama. Like Roxy and we cleaned always. Like Roxy would stay up to like 3 a.m. washing dishes. And like Abby and Isha were just like, no, that's not, we're not. And I'm here like sanitizing the countertops like 2 a.m. sweating like fucking. So there was some drama.
Yeah. Dude, keeping the sink clean, let me just tell you, that'll 100% make or break a roommate relationship.
It will.
And if you can survive it, like you have roommates and friends for life.
Yeah.
Right. That's so true.
I want to just ask you, what are like some of your favorite moments from the show? I think the moment when me and Avery were watching and the moment we were like, we need this bitch on the podcast was the sex toy episode.
When you guys went to go buy sex toys, I was like, that is just a marker of like being in your 20s is like when you get your like first sex toy, or you go to like the sex toy shop with your friends because you're finally being open like about your sexuality and like wanting to be a sexual person, you know, like that's a big step from like, you know, being young to being in your 20s.
It's such a rite of passage, especially for women in their 20s. It's like, I remember Avery and I and like 2 other friends, we got kind of like super drunk and went to the local sex toy place, and it was such a vibe, and I felt so comfortable doing it. I felt very similar to what we had seen on the show.
Yes. Oh my God. That was honestly, we always say that's our favorite scene. Like, it just also like it was fun to just see all the different things. Like, I didn't know there were so many creative inventions. I was like genuinely a little kid in a candy store. I was like, I want to try that one and that one and that one. Like, it was just so cool. And the best people, Kiki and Roxy, we were just having so much fun because Kiki too was like, what is all this?
Yeah.
I'm like, they have mojito flavored dick. Like, that's amazing. I'm like, I want that. Like,
you know, I've never tried anything edible, and low-key I want to, but I'm like, what if it's gross? I don't know. Have you tried it?
I feel like I haven't yet, but when I have a partner, I'm sorry, they better be ready because I'm super into that. Like food and sex and like taste, and I just feel like it's so connected.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Are you a Taurus?
Sorry?
Are you a Taurus?
No, Cancer.
A Cancer.
Oh, okay.
I've been super curious.
I get very emotional.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, fellow water sign here. I'm Pisces.
Nice. I love Pisces. All my best friends are Pisces.
Yeah. So I know that you wanted to...
Wait, what were some of your favorite moments from the show?
Was that it? The sex toy episode?
Oh, right. So they didn't really show a lot of the scene about the bull riding, but that night, guys, we got so drunk and like we rode the bull multiple times, and I was obsessed with the bull. Like there was something going on. Like there was chemistry. And like Bruce rode it without his shirt on, which was epic. Like that was like iconic. Like we were all cheering him on. And that was just a great night, like the bull riding, because I've never done that. And I'm just like, this is actually so, like, if I lived in Austin, I'd be there all the time. Like, I just feel like it's like a thrill, you know?
She's just a regular riding the bull all the time.
Yeah,
like, there's Natalie riding the bull again.
Do you watch Euphoria?
Yes, love Euphoria.
Were you like Cassie on the bull?
That was Abby. I was not that hot. I was like, I'm gonna grab this bull and like dominate it, baby. I had like bruises on my thighs. Like me and Abby both had bruises all over our legs.
That's so funny. Oh man, I think they did show a little bit. But yeah, no, that's hilarious. You felt like a love connection with the bull.
Yeah, it was just so fun, like riveting, truly. Like,
I haven't tried it. I feel like I should.
I think I might have tried bull riding once, and I fell like off like right away. But like that was in like high school.
It's hard.
It's tough to hang on to those things. They really like try and toss you around.
Yeah.
All right. So, Natalie, you listening to your podcast and then also on the show, like dating was like one of your biggest goals while you were on the show. And on the show, you kind of had a lot of bad dating experiences. Like,
oh God.
But like what I really admired about you and what made me like really fall in love with you is that you immediately just got right back up there. And like for me, as someone who like I date, like I'll go on one date like a year and be like, even if it goes well, I'm like, I'm good.
She's like,
or like
dating's canceled.
Even if I don't get like turned down, but I just don't like the person, like I'm just like, I'll just wait, a little while before I start dating again. But so my question is like, what drives you like to keep getting back out there? Like, is it because you're just really horny or what is it?
Okay, definitely the horny plays a factor for sure. But I think for me, it's like, so I don't know what it is. I just have such bad luck when it comes to men. Like, it's like, and I don't know if maybe psychologically, like, I look for men who are emotionally unavailable, or something like that. Something's happening in the psyche. I have no idea. Because my friends are always like, why do you like the creeps? Like, why are you into like these like men who clearly are not like your caliber? And I don't know what it is, but I think for me, it's more just like I can't change who I am. Like, of course, if I have something like a negative character flaw that I need to improve on and grow, I can do that.
Right.
But me, Natalie, like, if I'm too much, if I'm too bold, if I'm this, then you're not the person for me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't become someone I'm not. So definitely, I keep telling myself, like, you have to like love yourself and you have to be confident because then the guy that's meant for you is going to find you. So I literally have to literally build myself back up every time. It seems like, I'm like, oh, I'm good. Whatever. I got rejected. But it actually takes a lot of work to be like, nah, it's okay. Like it has nothing to do with you. It's about the guy. So I always try to like tell myself and try to like continue that relationship with myself. Cause at the end of the day, you're your best friend. Like you have to be there for yourself.
Yeah.
Because people are going to disappoint you and reject you. So that's why in the show, like that happened. Like I got ghosted and I was like, fuck man. I was like, I'm over it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm always just trying to defend myself as much as I can because you have to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's a great way to put it. And do you feel like you're just constantly having to do that in real time? Because you do it with such ease where it feels like you just have this like ingrained confidence where you kind of like brush it off, but it's kind of refreshing to hear that like it's like, no, it sucks every time, but I do it anyway.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I think that's really like brave, and I think like brave and like that's really something because it's like, you know, you had the other girls on the show who are just so beautiful and like it seems like every single guy liked them like immediately.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, sometimes when you feel like you're competing with that, like and like seeing you getting back up, trying again and again, or like, you know, I think that's refreshing, and I think that's really brave, and I think like that takes a lot of work and a lot of confidence, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Thank you.
and I think for me, like when it comes to dating, I think I've started to, because I'm like, I always keep on psychoanalyzing myself. I'm like, why is it's not working out? I'm like, I
Same.
think I was like, I realized I was like, here's the thing, I'm scared of rejection, so I end up going for guys who I don't think are going to reject me.
Oh, yeah.
And then I end up not liking them because they're not actually my type. They're just guys who I think I'm going to like who will like me, you know?
Yes.
So then I'm not
Oh my
attracted
God,
to them.
yes.
And I was like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's what I
Yes.
think it is. I haven't been dating in a while, but like listening to your podcast and like seeing you, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should go out and date. Maybe I should put myself out there more. Natalie can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Avery, we'll do it together. I'm with you on this journey, I promise. And it's so hard. It's so, God, it's, ugh. But everything you said, I'm like, wait, that is so eye-opening because I'm like, that's probably what's happening to me too. Because every time my girlfriends are like, oh, like you're dating someone that you're just so out of their league, or like do you even like them? And like, no offense, but I really have been dating some guys that are just not.
No, I like some of the guys who came on the show. I was like, she can do so much better than him. Who is this guy? Come on, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
You're beautiful. I think you're gorgeous. So it's just like, I was
Thank
like,
you.
Natalie, you can find a good dude.
Yeah, but like to be fair, I do the same thing to you. I'm always like, why are you dating this dude? Like you are like so bored by him.
Well, it's just, you know, like sometimes you're scared to get your feelings hurt because it sucks being turned down. And it's like,
Right.
you kind of like, you do a really good job, you know, like it's hard to
Right.
it's easier to be turned down by someone you don't really like than to someone
Yes.
who you really like, you know, because then it's
Yes,
like,
yeah.
oh, that feels so much worse.
Ladies, it's the law of attraction. It's like whatever you're projecting, which is like if you're projecting the low self-confidence, you're going to attract a dude who is just going to continue to perpetuate that.
That's so true.
And
That is
probably
so true.
he's so low confidence and going to be weird and gross and make mistakes as well. So it's like you have to think about that as well.
So only go for
Very
guys who
true.
we think were really, really hot now.
Right.
That and isn't going to be a total creep.
Yeah, someone who has a connection with.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those.
Yeah,
So
do
true.
not go out with any more guys who are just sending you dick pics.
Oh my God,
Girl.
girls, that's my first dick pic. I got so excited.
You know what? To be fair,
It is exciting to get
It
your
is-
first dick pic.
you're like, ew, hot.
Yeah.
I know.
He wants
wait.
me. Yeah,
That's so true.
Yeah. We all make that mistake. It's just like, oh, should I send a picture back? And like all your friends are like, no.
Oh my God, the girl, dude, they even edited it like like the girls freaked out. Like they were like, I remember like in the show, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know it was this serious. Like the girls were like, Natalie, no.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
But we gotta
But
learn
then
our
look
own
what
lessons,
Yeah,
though.
you
We
have
gotta
to learn your
our
own
own
lessons.
That's funny you guys say that because I think that was the reason why it was so hard with like the whole Adam thing because I did have a huge fear of rejection. And it's funny because, you know, the show doesn't show everything, but there was times where Adam was flirting with me. You know, there
Right.
was times where Adam was genuinely doing stuff like that. So the one time that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for a hot guy who's super nice and is my friend, and then I'm like, oh shit. So it's even like, even if you go for guys that you do genuinely like or like have a connection with and you get rejected, it's like you got to keep going and don't go back down to the guys who are like, I don't really like them, but maybe they won't reject me. Like keep going for what you want, even though like it hurts, man.
Yeah.
Like getting rejected is just like fuck. Like it's like it sets you back, but
knowing
at the
your
end of the
worth
day-
is like, I think trumps all that. Even though it hurts, it's
Yes.
like, at least I know my
Yes.
worth. At least I know
Yes.
like this wasn't good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even if it
exactly.
doesn't work
And in
out.
hindsight, I'm like, thank God, never would have worked out. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
love Adam. He's a total friend, but I'm like, that would have never worked out. But yeah.
Yeah. And also I feel like, you know, again, I love my boyfriend, but there is like also that part, like, you know, when you're a girl in your 20s, there's so much out there that like perpetuates like date, have the experience, and like, you know, like that should be exciting for you guys, like to have that experience, to explore different relationships and to just have fun.
Yes.
Because like I think overall it just sets you up for success in the future when you are ready to find like, you know, Mr. Right or whoever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We just got to do the first steps of dating.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, we got to be hoes first. Come on, Avery, we got to be hoes.
I know. I think I need a hoe phase. I need to go into a hoe era.
Please, I have been begging
Yes.
for a hoe phase from you for so long. Like, please, I need to live vicariously through you.
My problem is like
Yeah.
it's hard for me to like not think later. Like I like because you guys were talking about it's like I don't know how to be a hoe because like I get caught up in feelings so fast too.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
I think about like being with someone, it's like what's the future gonna look like? Do you know what I mean? Already, like I can't like I don't know.
She is very practical.
I think it's my it's my Capricorn moon. Like I'm like thinking like what's the business? You know,
Yeah.
I'm getting down to business already.
Yeah. Have some fun. Lighten up.
It's hard, dude.
It is hard, but I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm working on it too. So I got this new app. Oh my God. Wait, Avery, are you Latina?
No, I'm Filipino, so I'm like
Oh my God.
I'm Asian.
There's this new app for
I'm
like
part
Latin-
Latina.
Latinos. Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Carol? Yes. I would offer it to you. We have a boyfriend. But there's this new dating app that's like for Latinos and it's all Latinos just dating. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. I'm like, maybe this is the answer.
Would you want a Filipino boy?
Mm, I don't know. I don't really.
Dead.
It just depends. Like I'm a person. Like I like personality.
Mm,
Like
Yeah.
there is definitely like a look that I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
Like a type that I'm attracted to. But like that like shifts like all the time if like I really like someone's personality.
true.
Same.
Are you the same? Are you like personality driven, or you just see a dude and you're like, fuck yes?
I am, it's so weird. It like depends on like my mood. But yeah, depends what mood I'm in, but I am very attracted to talent. Like that's why I always go for like the artsy guys, man.
I
Like
feel
if
you.
you have talent, oh my God, my panties will drop like instantly. Like,
I always find that the artsy dudes, though, like when I was in high school and college, like the artsy dudes, though, they will fucking play so many games with you. They think it's like, they're like, they think it's fucking, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not your art project. I'm not your future
Yep.
film. This isn't Degrassi.
no, literally. Yeah.
But it's nice to like, I love like people with passion. That is very attractive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel that.
Exactly.
I noticed that you had spoken in your episode 4 of Horny and Hopeful. Hopeful and Horny. Am I mixing it up? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's hopeful. It's hopeful, and horny.
We're hopeful first and then we're horny. And then,
yeah.
But you were talking about social media, and I remember you talked about how you made the portraits and all of that, but you made a post about sexual experience and like challenging this point of view that women can't be multifaceted beings.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you could just like elaborate more on that and kind of talk more on that, because I do think that's really, really important.
Yes. Oh my God, thank you. Yeah, it's honestly something I'm really passionate about because I feel like in society women are put into boxes. Like either you're like a slut or you're the good girl, or you're very sexually experienced, so you're more sensual, or you're not experienced, so you're more of like a moderate conservative type.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's also a psychological thing I've heard of, like, I think it's like the Madonna effect or something, like men label women as like, it actually happens. Men genuinely do this. It's like, okay, you're like the hot Madonna, or like you're like the innocent, pure virgin. And so I've been getting a lot of comments of like, on the show, I'm being portrayed as someone who has no sexual experience, like very limited, which is true. And I'm portrayed as someone very not sensual because that's the perception that was filmed of me on the show. But coming to terms with my sexuality, I've explored my expression so much. Like I was so scared to show cleavage, like ever. Like it was like, Natalie, do not, like, what are you, like, and just coming on the show and like publicizing like my inner sexual being, like basically like that's what I did, has been so liberating that now I just really want to like express myself. Like I'm such a sensual person now, and it's annoying because if you start posting like sensual photos, it's like there's so many like opinions and perceptions of you. It's like, oh my God, like you're this. And honestly, it's just so tolling because first of all, like experience, who cares? If a woman is a slut, that's amazing. That's like honestly the fucking goal. Like, like you know what I mean? Like
right.
Having sex is something to be celebrated because female sexuality and pleasure has been so hindered so much throughout all these years. And so for a woman to be able to claim that and be satisfied in that department is a celebration. And so, yeah, I've been losing so many followers. It's like so crazy to me because I guess people are like, oh, like I can relate to her. She's very, conservative and has no experience, but I don't even know. I think it's honestly a lot of like, it could be, I don't even know. I think it's people in general. I don't know if it's a gender thing or anything, but whenever I post anything remotely spicy, like I'm talking like, I'm like just showing my shoulders. I get like hundreds followers losing. And I'm like, how? Like, it's just my shoulders. It's not anything serious. So yeah, it's something I'm very vocal about because there should be no limitation onto who you are and what you want to express.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
Like, I agree because I think like, just because say someone's a virgin or like they don't have a lot of sexual experience, it doesn't mean that they don't like sex or want to have sex or are a sexual person. And like, I don't know if you're on like TikTok, but like I'm big on like, I like book talk, and it's like all these girls who are just talking about like having sex all the time or all these like fantasy like scenarios. They're just talking about sex and wanting to have sex with hot dudes, like, and they're all virgins. And it's just like, just because you're a virgin doesn't mean you're not sexual or like you can't express your sexuality.
Totally.
Like me, I love like wearing like like fashion forward, like I want to wear a clear mesh top and show like my tits or like a cute bra underneath.
Yes.
You know, like I'm a virgin, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Right.
I want to
Exactly.
express myself the way I am. Just because you're not like super experienced doesn't mean like you have to wear like a white dress and like can't be
Or a
it has to be
turtleneck,
cutesy.
like, the
Yeah. You know, like it doesn't mean you have to cover up and be like, no, I'm pure. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not. You should see the
Exactly.
shit I read. I'm disgusting. Like, you know.
She is not
Yes.
well. She is not well. No, yeah, totally. I think, there's a lot of pressure on women, of course, because sexism, but I think guys experience, like, I think there's just been this, like, cultural pressure that sexual experience does gauge, like, your level of sexuality and what you express. I think guys experience it too, but they get away with it because they're men and they don't have like these pressures of whatever gender they are. So yeah, I definitely feel that. And also it's just like, if a person, there's also a pressure of like, I also find that like there is sometimes it's like, oh, well, like you're not sexual enough, like, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, just let people just be.
Exactly.
Like, let just people express what they want to express. Like, some people feel more comfortable expressing that and some others don't,
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think that's really cool. And I love seeing that. And it was something that I definitely saw on the show that I loved because, I think that, having, like, I'm in a relationship, but I do think that, like, hookup culture is kind of scary. Like, I think about her. She's my cousin. She's one of my best friends. I love her. And obviously I get, like, really protective, like, when she does try to date. And it's all these, like, gross dudes just, like, trying to, like, hook up. And which is fine. It's like, if that's what you want to do, but it's like, it does make her uncomfortable. Like, she's just trying to date. Like, why do you want to like Netflix and chill? I haven't even met you. Like,
right.
But that's what I loved about the show was that it showed these differing levels of dating, sex, relationships. I also think that I think it's important that, there was like 2 virgins on the show. Like, I think that that's important because there is such a pressure like on young people. Like, I hope that young people watching that didn't feel like, oh, I need to lose my virginity before college, like, or whatever. Like, felt like they needed to sacrifice a part of themselves to do that. You know what I mean? So I love seeing that because I was even like growing up throughout my 20s, I was like, there's no way people lose that shit in college or early on. And I have met so many virgins in their 20s, and we need to just normalize it. It's completely fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we went on a podcast one time, and like the first thing they asked me, it's like, oh, you're a unicorn. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? It's because I was a virgin. I was like, this is so awkward.
It was so disrespectful.
Because it was like 2 dudes, and it was just like, it's like, oh yeah, it's fine, but it's like, that's not really what I wanted to talk about.
Right.
Yeah.
Even as a virgin, I'm surprised when I come across virgins. Like, I dated a guy who was also a virgin. I was like, and he was 27 at the time, so I was like, wow, he's really old and a virgin. And now I'm 27 now, so I'm like, I'm a terrible person for judging him. I guess it happens.
Well, it's just like there is that pressure, that societal pressure that you have to deal with all the time.
Yeah. Honestly, like I had sex for the first time like late 20s, and it was pressure. I was like, it's horrible because the whole relationship was horrible. I'm writing an article about it. You guys can read it when it comes out. But it just I was like, oh my God, like I'm turning 25 and I don't want to be 25 and a virgin. And then I lost it. And then I look back and I'm like, why did I do that? Like, I would have just much rather just let it be. Like, it's the pressure really gets to people, and it's like, why? Like, it's your life, your own timing.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with that.
I think it's just like this pressure to be defined by your sexual experience, and like that just let's cut the shit. Like, who cares? Who gives a fuck? Like, who gives a fuck?
Right. And also it's this thing of like, it's annoying when like men kind of like it. You know what I mean? When it's like, oh my God, she's a virgin, and like you're like the shiny new, like that's the shit that bothered me too. I was like, no, like just because it's so annoying. It's like they look at you in a certain way. Like, damn, if I conquered a virgin, I'm like, I'm the shit, man. Like, it's like, it's
There's also
disgusting,
that.
truly.
There's also that side, and then the other side of like, oh, she's a virgin. No, thank you.
That's so true.
I can't be
I've heard both.
I can't be responsible for that. It's like, bitch, you're not responsible for shit. I'm responsible for it.
Yes.
It's my choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You be
It's
lucky.
my favorite
You
is
would
like,
be lucky if I chose you.
yes. And like men automatically assume you're gonna get attached. And it's like,
Oh my God. No.
unless I tell you, or like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you assuming that? Like,
Men think way too highly of themselves. Me searching for their audacity, like, I don't get it.
I know, same thing.
All right, so sex, relationships, we got it off the table. I want to talk, you're still in Florida, right?
Yeah, I'm in Miami.
So what's the deal? Are you going to come back to
Yeah.
Austin, or what are you feeling?
This is so sad. I hate talking about it. But
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have to talk about it.
No, you're good. You're good. So basically the show showed Kiki and I moving in together. But they didn't show like behind the scenes how fucking hard it is to
Girl,
actually
Girl, we know. We
Okay.
live here.
Yeah, it's like not, and especially for someone who just did that jump and change is happening so quick.
Yeah.
And like I just realized what the fuck it means to actually be independent and like be an adult and move out. So we weren't approved for apartments because we both were unemployed doing the show.
Yeah.
We didn't have enough savings to prove our income for rent. The show had just ended. We were living in an Airbnb that we were barely paying. And so we decided to come back to our hometowns and save money. And when we got back here, it was a lot. It was really hard trying to adjust back to like living my dream, being independent, and then coming back home.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm still working on like saving money. I still need to move out. But now I took this pressure off of myself because it was really affecting my mental health of like, I need to figure it all out. I need money. I need to be an adult. I need to do this when like I didn't have the resources or like mentally prepared myself to actually make that step in a way that was responsible.
Yeah.
So I'm still here. I'm now thinking, I don't know if I want to move to Austin just because of like, I'm such a city girl. Like I'm thinking of maybe New York or LA, and I want to get into entertainment and acting. So there's a lot more opportunity in like other cities. But Kiki is moving to Austin, and I'm telling him, I'm like, I am going to crash on your couch for a whole month. Like I am ready. Second you come, I'm coming and I'm visiting. But yeah, we've decided to like do our own thing, and it's gonna be a long distance relationship. But we have the podcast, and we're staying strong. And I love Austin. I really like everything about Austin was just so great, except the dating. I'm sorry, everyone in Austin doesn't want to commit or like they're just here to party. Like I just have such a bad taste about the dating scene in Austin. I'm a little bitter.
Yeah, it's all like tech boys and like I don't even like go on dating apps right now. But what you should do, this is like kind of crazy. You should are you into astrology at all?
I'm starting to get into it. Like I was never, and now I'm like, okay.
There's this thing called astrocartography, and so it takes your like birth chart and it puts it on a world map essentially, and it tells you the best places for you to like live, like where it's like good for you to grow your career, where like if you want to like go write a book, this is the best place.
Listen to this.
Wait, what's it called? I'm gonna write it down.
Look it up. It's called astrocartography, and I think there's like Astrology Cafe does it. But this is the craziest thing. She told me about this, and I did it. And both of us, we had lines, like it basically goes off these like ley lines basically that align with your chart. And both of ours went through the city of Austin.
Yeah, or we're really close to Austin.
Yeah, like
Stop.
for like growing your career and like popping off basically. And it was like This is crazy.
Oh my God, I love that.
If you're into like astrology and stuff like that, like us, like I would just look at that, maybe see like if it was like one's closer to New York, LA, that might be a better place for you to go, you know?
It's just
That's so true. Thank you.
yeah, it's like
Oh my
a
gosh.
fun little thing, and like each thing, like each line, like or like node represents like a different aspect of your life. So it was really interesting.
It's just a fun thing, you
Just
know?
for
Like
funsies.
especially when you're young, like for me, like what leads you to a city or like where you want to move, like it like can be like whatever
things.
reason, you know. For me, I wanted to come here to go to college or like, you know, like, and I ended up
Right.
just staying here. So
yeah.
you know, you're young and you're just, you know, go start over
I'm all
100
about that.
times.
Yeah.
Yes, I love being spontaneous and just like doing things like when I'm young, because then shit starts getting real and you can't be as flexible. So
Yeah, and I feel like, but for you, like, you know, like you kind of lived at home for a while and then you had that first experience. It's like that's the time to like do that, like to experience, like, and figure out, like, oh, where do I want to be on my own? Where do I want to be independent?
yes.
What was it? You talked a little bit about it, but like, what was the adjustment like from, you know, being on Twentysomethings and then coming back to real life? Did you feel like there was that pressure to just have it all together once the show was over because you were on the show?
Oh my God, yes. Oh wow. Like no one talks about it, but mental health after doing a show like that is like has to be your priority, because on such a high. Like you are living like this dream, like this attention is on you. You feel like you
Yeah.
can conquer the world, and then you come back to reality, which is why they give us like psychologists after. Like whenever you do reality TV, there's always an access to
Do
psychologists.
they? That's really
Because
good.
That's
yeah,
crazy. That's awesome.
because you live in a bubble and then reality hits you again, and it's like, oh my God, like the change. It's really hard for people to accept change so quick. So thank God for like Roxy, Isha, and Kiki, because we were like this because we all were going through it. We didn't
Yeah.
know what we were doing. Like people think like after reality TV you're rich and famous. That's like not the truth at all.
Yeah.
Like you're not rich at all.
Yeah, now you just have this giant spotlight on you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and scrutiny, and you're just like, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah, what do I do
Right.
with this? Like, yeah, it's just like followers doesn't equal dollar signs, not that much anymore. So it
Right.
means
Exactly.
like greater opportunity, but it doesn't mean money.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, like I'm just curious because I feel like, you know, on our show we talk a lot about sort of like we call it the timeline of like of your 20s, and Roxy mentioned it in your last latest episode of, you know, she was looking for marriage. She wanted that timeline that kind of gets like ingrained in us for some reason. And it's like, so, you know, what was like your kind of thought process of coming back to your parents' house and like sort of like getting through that? Because I think that is, you know, it's emotional, it's a lot, it's heavy, but it's like more people need to be talking about this, because
Yeah.
I find that this is why we made this podcast, because there's so many like media outlets that talk about your 20s just purely from the dating, sex, like fun perspective, but we're not talking about the real
Yeah.
sort of basically becoming like coming from being a kid to being adult. And it's like navigating that. I feel like more people need to talk about it because it is so important. It is so heavy and kind of like this crazy process.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the first step for me was like giving myself grace of like, you know, I am almost 27. I turned 27 this summer and I'm still at home. I still don't have a full-time job. I still don't have everything figured out. But at the end of the day, that's okay. You know, it's okay to like need help. It's okay to need help, especially when you don't have everything figured out. I was working like as a tax accountant, administrative assistant, like making good money, but I was so sad. I was so sad. My soul wasn't fulfilled. And
Yeah.
I think like coming to the show made me realize that I want to truly find what makes me fulfilled. Like I just want a job that I don't have to like just focus on making money and just feel unsatisfied. And so I'm giving myself grace and being like, yes, I'm still at home. Yes, this is not the environment I want to be in at all at this stage in my life. But I know that timing is going to be okay because everything happens for a reason. Like my path is already set. I just need to like be patient and continue working on doing what I want to do. So, that's where I'm at right now. Cause I thought, okay, I'm gonna be back for like a month or two.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna move and be fine. But that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And things happen, like family happens. Like I had something really horrible happen in my family that made me stay even longer because I had to help,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So life throws things at you and you just have to like adjust and adapt.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm learning.
Do you feel like
It's okay. Yeah.
Sorry, like do you still
You're
feel
good.
like do you still feel that pressure though to accomplish it in the next 3 years before you turn 30, or are you over that now?
So I'm not over it, but
Yeah.
I'm more balanced with it. Before
Yeah.
I'm like, if I'm not out in a month, you're a fail. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I failed. I'm like, no, Natalie, calm down. So I do think right now my next goal is after summer to be in a different city.
Mhm.
So that's my next goal. And if that can be achieved, that'd be amazing. I'm actually talking to a friend now that is in the same situation as me. She's living at home and she wants to move out. She's never been out, kind of like me. And like, let's do it together. We can be roommates. Like, let's figure it out. So we'll see. I know Kiki's doing great. He's moving to Austin soon. He has his full-time job with TikTok.
Oh, he's
So-
working for TikTok?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We should try and meet up with Kiki.
Yeah, I'll tell him. I'll tell him to go on your podcast. We usually do that. Like we do podcasts and I'm like, go on, they're awesome. So
Aw, yay. Yeah,
I'd
we'd
love
love
to have him
that.
on.
We would love that.
Yeah, so it sounds like you want to pursue like a creative career. Like I know on your
Yeah.
podcast you mentioned writing. Are you leaning more towards like writing or more like acting?
I'm doing
You just
both.
figured out?
Yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
doing both
I
for
love
sure.
that.
And
I love that. I wish that they had shown, like, were you like, did you talk about that on the show, or is this just something you've realized recently? Because we didn't get to see that side.
yeah, so a lot of us on the show, I mean, you can even see, especially Roxy, like there was a lot that wasn't shown about us. I think
Yeah.
that they focused a lot on like in-house relationships. That was like their niche in the show. Which is why I knew I wanted to pursue something creative, which is why I wanted to work at a coffee shop because, it's a flexible job. It is something that most creatives do, they do bartending or coffee. So, but a lot of the show, a lot of our individual things that we wanted to do were cut depending on like the edit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought my whole thing was like, I don't want to be a tax accountant work. I don't want to do administrative work because I have a business degree. Fuck that. I'm gonna pursue what makes me happy. So
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I also find it's like sometimes like pursuing a creative career is like so much harder because
Yeah.
there's not really like sometimes there's not really tangible like I get a job. I like things that you can just like
Exactly.
click off. Sometimes it's like I've been working on this script for years and I'm trying to get it made.
Yeah.
And maybe one day like way down the line it does get made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's always like kind of later because it's so hard to build up that career.
Yeah, and we talk about that a lot here too because the podcast is sort of just like our vlog, but it's just kind of like a diary of our like life experiences and things like that. And like being a creator is really hard. It is exceptionally hard, and not only do you have to like hone your craft, but again, it's so hard to like pursue that and like make money, and it's if you can get through it and accomplish it, it's like that is huge. It's massive. So I have a lot of respect for people who like you who like hustle and just know that like it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time.
And you can't like give up on it.
You can't.
You know
give
what I
up.
mean? And that's the hardest
Exactly.
part because you're like trying to put this on a timeline. It's like there's no timeline to be fit here. You just got to keep going for it.
Yeah.
And stop worrying about just keep pursuing it.
Yeah.
That's what I tell myself, because it's
To
just
get
like,
through the nights.
to get through it because like otherwise it's like, well, all my friends are married, they're having kids, like they have
Right.
jobs, they have
Yes.
retirements. I'm pinching pennies, like trying to like figure out where my next meal's gonna be sometimes,
Literally, yep. You guys gave me an idea. I'm like, should I sell plasma now? Like, I'm like, maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
When I'm
like
pinching pennies, you know?
I am out. We're out here. We're working, and we put our blood, sweat, and tears into this, and that's kind of just like what you have to do,
Yeah.
depending on what you want to
Right.
do. So
Yeah, we have a friend who he really studies like directors and what they did, and he's like, yeah, this person, like, they worked at Whole Foods there until they could make their movie. And it's just like, as creative people, you have to make like those sacrifices. You got to work jobs that are more flexible. Like, sure, they're not like
yeah,
beautiful jobs. It's like, yeah, I drive Uber Eats to make bank, but like, or like to make money, but it frees up all my time to, like, you know, whatever time I want
yeah,
to
Exactly.
work on my projects.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm really proud that you guys, you know, did the podcast, because I felt like that was a really good move. Was that just you and Kiki were just like, let's fucking do it. Let's just do a podcast.
So a lot of fans were like, we want more from you guys. And so a lot of people were saying like a YouTube channel or a podcast. And so we decided a podcast because we're remote.
Mm-hmm.
And we would just be on the phone all night and like crack up. And I'm like, wait, we could, because we felt a lot of pressure. We've never been like podcast listeners, and
Yeah.
we've never done it. So we're like, how do we do this? And we're just like, let's just do it ourselves, like our own way. Like, let's just have conversations and maybe people would like it. And it's been doing so well. So we're so happy.
Yeah, I love it.
We're
It's
like-
it's like going to brunch with your besties.
Yeah, no, I love tuning in. I'm like, what's Natalie up to this week? How'd that date go? I need to know.
Yeah.
You know, or like, what is she doing? I love it. I think it's great. And you know,
It's a very real, honest take on what dating is like for the average person, not the Instagram model. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of
Yes.
those podcasts out there, and no shame to those, but I feel like this is like, I'm listening to real people talk about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, yeah.
I mean, you'd think after my Netflix clout that it'd be easier. It's not.
Yeah.
no.
I'm like, come on, guys. Like,
Yeah, no, you like, you guys had kind of like I loved your first episode. Like, I thought it was hilarious. And like, cause you guys were so real. And then the next episode, you guys like, I don't know if I should have said that. And like
I know, the quick
podcasters,
switch.
like we experience that all the time, because it's like, I just said I read Minotaur porn. Like, I don't know if I should say this, but it's like,
amazing.
it's like, that's real. And like, if it's funny to me and if it feels honest to me and I'm having a good time, like, I'm going to put it out because I know there's someone out there who had the same experience. You know? So it's like,
so true.
so it's just like, let it be.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just had an idea for you, Natalie. You should write the scripts for the audio sex stories. The like audio porn.
Oh my God. Wait, Carol, that's such a good idea.
I know.
I love this.
I
I love
10%
this.
fee for that. You're welcome.
Honestly, when I was younger, I would write like One Direction fanfic. And like, I had
Are you a
fans.
fan fiction girl?
Yes, I had fans. Wait, this is so true. I should get back into that.
Oh my
Girl,
God.
all these people are like turning their fan fictions into books now, you know, like,
Straight
so.
up.
Movies, yeah.
Straight up. Like, we are such advocates for like fan fiction in that realm, because it's just like, everybody thinks it's like for the nerdy girls. No, this is so common, and it's out here making like huge media like conglomerates. Like, I love it. I'm obsessed. So yeah, you should do it.
Yes.
You should write the scripts for audio. That'd be so
Oh my God.
funny.
Yes, I love that. Also, like, I'm at the point where, like, if I read a book and it doesn't have smut, like, what's the point? Like,
Oh my
I'm just
God,
like,
girl. Yes.
Thank you. That's the fucking plot. That is
Yeah.
the plot. There is no other plot. It is, what is the course of them? When do we get to the sex scene? That's what I'm
Literally.
waiting for. Literally, that's it. So it's not. I mean, it's not hard to understand women. It really isn't.
I know.
Like, the question what women want is so stupid to me, because it's like, we could not be more loud about it.
Right.
Maybe
That's
if you
so
just
true.
listened.
Yeah.
We're saying what we want.
We write a lot of books about it.
Amazing. Oh my
Well,
God, amazing.
this was so fun, and I'm so glad that we met and we were able to make this happen. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what's next for you. And yeah, I'm just like, so it's awesome that you had this like crazy life-changing experience, and from it it was like I feel like, do you feel more focused on your passion and like what you want to do that like fulfills
Yes.
you? That's so cool.
It it changed my life. Like just from family to career to like my confidence, dating, like I'm so grateful. Like honestly, like I'd be someone totally different. I wouldn't even be interviewing with you guys, but I'd be really different. So I'm really grateful.
Oh, yay. Well, again, thank you so much for coming, and thanks for hanging out with us. And it felt like we were hanging out with a bestie. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yes, you
I
girls
was
are
so
awesome.
nervous. I
Thank
was
you
like,
for
oh my God, she's famous.
She's so famous.
Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalie. All right, take care. Have a good one. Oh, is
You
there anything
too.
you wanted to plug?
So this week I have an article coming out with this company called Girl Connect, and it's a very vulnerable story of mine. So would love the support because I'm like freaking out about it. I'm like, oh my God, why am I telling people about this? But I know it's gonna help someone. So definitely give it a read if you guys can. That'd be awesome.
And guys, check out their podcast, Hopeful and Horny. It is so funny. I love it so much. And yeah, it's so exciting, and you can listen to it everywhere. I listen to it on Spotify. So yeah.
Yes, hope and horny.
All right, guys, that's it for us. Demon Trash out, Cabo out.